Welcome to Small Biz Life, Episode 9.
Does this sound familiar?
Oh my god, I have so much to do today.
Don't forget to breathe.
But I have almost 400 emails in my inbox and 30 phone calls to make.
Have you looked into getting a virtual assistant yet?
Oh, and I need to schedule all my social media posts.
Did you drink anything today?
I had coffee.
Did you eat today?
Did I mention coffee's a bean?
This is Small Biz Life. As always, I'm your host, Jeffrey W. Ingram. And for those of you who are listening for the first time, I have a background in information technology and in industrial engineering. And our podcast goes over the topics that are important to the lives of small business partners. And I'm here today with...
I'm Kristen Ingram. I am a certified public accountant who works with small business owners. And I'm also a college professor.
And wicked smart.
Thank you. A little Boston coming out there. A little bit of Boston in your podcast today. So this is episode 9. If you're joining us for the first time, thanks so much for listening. And our goal is to get down into the weeds of small business and really talk about the day-to-day struggles, how you can thrive, how you can grow your business. But we understand that it's not just about, listening to people that have been really, really successful in their businesses, and hoping to glean some information from them. We want to help you with where you are right now.
Excellent.
So that's our goal. So we start every show talking about some articles that we found in the news this week and taking those articles and showing you the small business impact of those articles. So what did you find this week?
All right. I have one called Introduction to Google Page Speed Insights.
I love Google Page Speed Insights. That's such a great site.
Yeah, it's very useful, especially for people who aren't very technically savvy. It essentially breaks down exactly what the problems are with your site for speed for either mobile or for desktop viewing of an application. Mobile being slightly more important now than desktop viewing. And what you can do is, let's say you are a small business owner who uses WordPress, much like many do, for either your blog or maybe even your entire website. You need to ensure that the actual page itself loads well, because it can hurt your Google search results, which are tough enough to get when you are a small business. If people want, let me know, and I can put together a video showing me going through the process for our website, which it still needs to be done for. But to give you a brief idea of how you do it is when you put in the URL to your website, essentially the address that you would list to get to your website, it will tell you the results and it will tell you what you need to fix. And that's what you focus on first. And you take the words there and you put in 2015 WordPress plugins, and then you paste what it tells you to fix. And it will give you suggestions on plugins for WordPress. And you're doing this obviously through a Google search engine. It'll give you an idea of what you need to do to fix your website so its speed will be faster, because speed really counts. And especially if your page takes over 3 seconds to load, that's a problem.
And the nice thing is, especially if you're using WordPress, a lot of it is just you need a plugin.
Exactly. Like one of the errors Kristen saw earlier when she just checked out Small Biz Live was it talked about having scripts above the fold. And the problem is when you have scripts above the fold, it's loading all of the scripts in before it necessarily loads everything that people see first. And so if they get placed below the fold, then it will actually quicken the amount of time it takes for your website to speed up. So one of the plugins we'll be adding in is script to bottom, or script to footer, I believe might be what it's called.
Script to footer. Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
And that will take care of that problem for us.
Awesome. Quick fix.
Yes. And one of the things people will always say are WordPress plugins will slow down your website. And there can be some truth to that. So my suggestion is when you add a new plugin, any plugin, you should always go to Google Insights and see what it tells you the effect of the plugin is. Now, if it's made well, it should have minimal or very little impact, maybe even none, or maybe even some of these will improve your website speed. So check them out. And if it takes too much speed away, look for a new plugin.
Awesome. Great advice. We will link both the article and Google Insights in the show notes for episode 9. So you can check that out at smallbizlife.com.
Now, did you per se find one?
I did. This is actually from The Verge, and this is called The Rating Game, How Uber and Its Peers Turned Us Into Horrible Bosses.
See, I feel bad because that's one of the sites I usually use to get. How does rating hurt us?
If you think about it, with everything going on the internet today, there are so many ways that people can rate your business. And ratings have really turned into part of the sales process. So this article talks about how you're going to be able to go into Olive Garden. You can order from a tablet on your table. And then when you pay, you can rate your server. Or when you use Uber, you rate your driver. When you use Airbnb, you rate the place you stayed. Google is always encouraging you to rate businesses that you use. There's things like Yelp, which if you haven't seen the South Park episode on Yelp, you need to watch it, because I thought of that when I read this article.
Or their 1-star review of the lawsuit that Yelp put against them after the episode.
Yeah, that was funny too. But ratings have kind of become a really important part of business. The thing that I want you to think about, there's a great quote in this article from one of the Uber drivers. And he says, customers expect Ritz-Carlton service at McDonald's prices. Do not get caught up in that scheme. I think so many times we're trying to grow our business and we think that the best way to do that, to get good reviews, to get more business, is to lower our prices. You don't want to be that person. No. You want to show value for your customers, and value in the sense that you are giving amazing service. That's how you provide value. Not by slashing your prices, not by being the most affordable person out there. You want to go above and beyond what is expected in your field, but you also want to charge accordingly for that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the mistakes that small business owners make, especially when competing with larger businesses. Let's say you're a small box retailer and you're trying to compete with Walmart. You can never beat them on price. And you might get lucky and have an item here or there where you beat them on price, but ultimately it's the depth and the service that you can offer that is the thing that can keep a business competitive against a larger player.
Well, the thing that I'm looking for when I shop with small businesses, when there's like a big box option, is I'm looking for expertise. So if I go to my local garden center instead of going to Home Depot, it's because I want recommendations on the plants that are going to do well in my area, what I can do to improve my soil. And I expect that somebody in my local area is going to know better than somebody that's working in the garden center at Walmart.
Most definitely, yeah.
You can charge more for your services as long as you provide that extra level of service. You don't want to be the Walmart of marketing. You don't want to be the Target of CPAs. You don't want to do that. Right? Provide amazing service and people will be willing to pay for that service. And if they're not, there are going to be other things that are going to make them a bad customer as well.
Yes.
Typically I find that people that when the first thing they ask me is how much do you charge? Those kind of clients are the ones that are going to want things really, really fast. They're going to give you stuff late. There's going to be lots of pushing them to get the information that you need. And then they're going to complain about the bill in the end.
Yeah, and they're going to push you as soon as you start working as well, too. Like they'll be over your shoulder watching you after you have trouble getting content from them.
Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Is it done yet? Are you done yet? You just gave it to me yesterday. Are you done? No, I'm not. Not yet, no. No. No.
I think you're done now, honey.
I am done now. Thank you. So this week's topic, we are in the beginning of November. That's scary. I don't know where this year went.
I know. Before we know it'll be 2000.
We got past that already.
Oh, wow. It's 2000, almost 16.
Yes. It's almost 2016. Yeah.
But there's truth. The older you get, it just seems like every year gets faster and faster, right?
Yeah, it feels like we just finished up tax season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. What starts to happen as we get close to the holidays is things get really, really hectic because you have business responsibilities, your personal responsibilities get ramped up. You know, there's lots of pressure to have perfect holidays and everything be wonderful, and it has to be all Martha Stewart, right? And, you know, things like HGTV and the Food Network have really made it so that there's so much pressure on us to have the most amazing holidays ever. So today we're going to talk about 10 ways that you can really thrive during the holidays and get yourself ready to have an amazing 2016.
Excellent.
And we're going to have personal tips and business tips.
This will be a truly holistic look at a small business person's life.
Yes, absolutely. What you came up with 1 and 2, so why don't you share 1 and 2 with us?
Okay, I have to give credit to, I believe it's called The Food Schmooze on NPR with Faith Middleton, who is a very evil woman.
That show's awesome.
It is an awesome show. I would advise not listening if you can't eat for whatever reason, because no matter what it is, no matter how good or bad, you will want to eat it while you listen to her and the chefs that she has on and her other guests talk about food.
And the way they talk, like it's a love affair with food.
It's a love affair with food. And that's the reason I like the show. And I think she's evil.
So what do you have?
So number 1, order a fresh turkey several weeks before your holiday. So the idea is 1, a fresher turkey tastes better, first off, which is a yay. But 2, people get caught up in the, oh my goodness, it's now 24 hours before I forgot to start defrosting my turkey. Should I leave it out? If I put it in the refrigerator beforehand, how long should I give it to be able to defrost? And those can be difficult questions depending on the weight of your turkey. That can vary rapidly. I mean, the bigger it is, the more time it's going to need to defrost, and especially in the refrigerator, the core of it might not be defrosted by the time you start cooking it.
We've had that happen before.
We have had that happen before.
It's funny because it causes so much stress.
Yes. And something simple too, something that you need every year, because you're probably eating a turkey, at least for Thanksgiving. I know some people who eat turkeys for Thanksgiving and Christmas, or they have turkeys and ham for both as well too. Maybe pick one major protein, but that's a bonus tip there. But, if you get it fresh, you don't have to worry about that. You put it in the refrigerator the night before. You do a bit of prep work probably to get it ready. And I like to smoke mine. So usually we brine mine the evening before, which is essential if you want to smoke it. Or really it's safe if you're going to cook a turkey at all and you don't want it dry.
Yeah. Oh my God. Smoked turkey's amazing. And they're really not that hard to do. And the nice thing with it is that it keeps your oven clear so that you can do other stuff with your oven.
Yeah.
So I'm going to link in the show notes. We use Alton Brown's recipe for a honey brine smoked turkey. And it doesn't take very long. You think smoked food takes forever. It probably takes about 5 hours to do it.
Yeah, it depends on how consistent you can keep your heat, which can be a trial in the Northeast. But, you can smoke turkey at the same rate you would bake it.
Yeah.
You'd roast it, I guess, would technically be what you're doing in the oven. Because essentially it's not like other kinds of smoked meat where it takes heat a little bit or it takes smoke a little bit. So you can actually do it at high heat and have it come out wonderful. And I love to use applewood for it because applewood and honey brine and turkey equal delicious.
And so if you don't want to, smoke a turkey for the first time, for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, a lot of barbecue places actually smoke turkeys and then you pick them up the day before and then you just have to heat it up.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Chinese turkey.
No, not Chinese turkey. But that's a really good way to avoid, having to cook a turkey, especially turkey's one of those things that's like, it's really hard. They dry out really easily, and if you're smoking a turkey is really easy, but if you don't want to do it yourself, order one, take that off your plate and just know that it's done. We have a great barbecue place in town. And yes, we live in Connecticut and we do have a great barbecue place in town. Shout out to Bear's Barbecue.
Who obviously moved to New England.
Yes, he's not originally from New England. But he puts out, you can pre-order a turkey from Jamie. He will have it done for you. And you just pick it up and your turkey's done.
And it's delicious.
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. So what's number 2? Because number 2 is food related too.
Yes, number 2 is also food related, and that is to prepare your side dishes the day before big meals. Now, as I'm not a large chef, I am not familiar with enough of the side dishes to know if there's something that you really can't do this for. But especially for the more complicated ones, take the time, pre-cook them or get them ready for the last stage to go in. So you're really warming them up. You're not prepping them from scratch the day of.
Yeah, I mean, think about those side dishes that, are common at your table. Things like stuffing, which, you typically bake. Green bean casserole can be made the day before. Candied yams can be made the day before. Butternut squash is a big thing in New England. That can be made the day before. Most of your side dishes you can make the day before and they're fine. You just have to heat them up.
Yeah.
And then poof, right?
Probably the only thing that you'd really want to do that day, I would imagine, is baked goods. So like if you're doing fresh bread, but I think you could have probably for all baked goods, the dough prepped and you're just ready to throw it in the oven that day.
Even like a pie you could make the day before.
Yeah, pie you could, but I'm thinking more of breads and rolls and stuff like that.
Oh, that's because you're a bread snob.
Yeast rolls and... Oh, I'm getting hungry now. Curse you, Faith Middleton.
All right, so let's turn away from food for a little bit. Tip number 3 is write your Christmas cards now. There's nothing that says you have to wait until after Thanksgiving to write out your Christmas cards. And, once you get past Thanksgiving, things get really crazy and really busy with all the holiday parties and everything. So write them out before things get hectic. The message won't be any different if you write them out the first week of November than if you write them out the first week of December.
And my suggestion is to don't send one of the letters out that gives essentially the biography of your family from last Christmas to this Christmas. One, those are great phone calls to have. Love having those phone calls with my family. And 2, if you don't want to take the time to have that phone call with me, don't send me the card. Well, send a card, but just a happy holiday card, a Christmas card, whatever kind of card you want. But it doesn't need a biography in it.
Yeah, especially biographies about medical conditions. We've gotten some of those in the mail before. We if you want to have that discussion via phone, maybe, but in a letter to, 45 of your closest family members.
That's right.
Yeah. No, don't do that. And what I'd suggest too is that when you're going out after Christmas, pick up next year's holiday cards. And then, if you have downtime in June or July, write out your Christmas cards then. There's not, if you're signing them from, you and the family, it doesn't matter when you do that.
That's right.
It doesn't have to be the first week of December.
In worst case, say you have a new kid that year, just put Aunt Eddie or whatever the kid's name is.
Yeah. That's when the photo cards are I think that's why those are so popular.
And photo cards are actually great for that, I think, to show off the picture of the family. So
we should take a picture of Ra, and that'll be our photo card this year. We'll put a little jingle bell on her or something.
Slice of cheese.
There you go. That'll make her happy. Okay, number 4. Now, you know how busy you are at this time of year. Well, your customers are probably really busy too. So between Thanksgiving and New Year, it's not the best time to launch a new product.
If you're really big and you have a product that's related to the new year that's been established, or you're big enough to pull it off, that might be different. But, outside of best year ever, I don't think I've ever considered a new service during the holiday season.
Unless you've got hundreds of thousands of followers.
Yeah.
So that, you can generate enough people paying attention. But really, this is not a good time for you. Like, it drives me crazy when I get sales calls like the week before Christmas. I'm like, are you kidding? Really? Really? Do you know how busy everybody is? And I get like they're trying to make quotas. It's the end of the year. But, you know, you don't want to alienate your customers by trying to make a really big push in their inbox every day to sell a new product.
Yeah, because one of the things that I know Jeff Walker says is every time you do an ask of a client, you will lose some clients. And I think that would be especially true in that time of the season. Oh, I can't believe you're pitching me now. Maybe they're more likely to unsubscribe at that point too. So,
right. So be really careful with that. But number 5, that doesn't mean that you can't pre-schedule content now. You know, put aside launching your new product until the first week of January. Yeah. But, you know, take this time, pre-record podcasts, pre-record YouTube videos, write up blog posts that are going to post over the holidays. Get all of your content done. If you've got a newsletter, you can pre-write that and schedule it in your, you know, like we use Aweber for our email. We can schedule stuff ahead of time. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that you want to be doing in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Because you can really take the pressure off once you get past Thanksgiving and you have a holiday party every other day until Christmas Eve. Or in our circumstance, including Christmas Eve.
Including Christmas Eve, yeah.
Or the 2 we typically go to on Christmas Eve.
Yes. So, you know, and this is a really good time to generate some evergreen content because you don't necessarily know when you're going to be super busy and when you might need a piece of content to plug in, right, to fill a gap.
Yeah.
So this is a really good time. Evergreen content is content that will always be good.
Yes.
So you can post it now and somebody can read it in July of next year and it still applies. Yeah. So this is a great time to work on some of that content because the other thing too is that typically your blog numbers, your podcast numbers are going to go down over the holidays. So if you develop evergreen content, they might not listen to it now. Yeah. But if they find it in March, it's still viable.
Yeah. And the other thing to keep in mind too is if you are one of those people that come up with the wonderful pictures for Pinterest and to put out on Facebook and Twitter, you can get those prepped and ready too. Just have it all scheduled to go out when you need it to go out.
Yep.
We use both Buffer app and Edgar to schedule out social media. Really, those are 2 huge time savers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, that and being able to pre-schedule content through Aweber.
Yeah. Or just through WordPress, you know. This post will go live at December 24th at midnight.
Right. And even with YouTube, you can make a video private. And then when you want it to go live, just change the settings so it's public.
Yeah.
You know, and with your podcast, you can upload things at any time and, you know, tell the service when you want it to release.
Exactly. Definitely with Libsyn, you can schedule it. And I just schedule it for the same time my post goes live with the show notes and voila.
Yep. Get some evergreen content together and get it preloaded for when you need it. Number 6 is to start putting together any correspondence that you need to send out for 2016. Yeah. So, you know, this could be if you're going to do a launch early 2016, you can start putting that content together and pre-schedule it.
Yes.
In my case, because I'm a CPA, I typically send out a letter early in 2016 that says, "Hi, it's January." That
Ta-da.
means, ta-da, it's tax season. You know, and reminding people to get their stuff together and get it into me early. So that's a letter that I can write now. I can mail merge it, get it all ready to go. And then it can just, you know, the first week of January, I can send it out.
And if you do not know how to mail merge, I would suggest that's another very good use of Uncle Google to figure out how to do it. It can save you a lot of time if you have form-like letters that you send out.
Yep. So, and, you know, if you use QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks will actually do it for you. If you have a content management system, it'll do it for you, you know, or you can just do a mail merge and dump it into Word.
Exactly. Or you can do a mail merge from Word.
Yep.
So lots of options. So whatever software you have, just Google to see if you can use it to mail merge. You probably can.
Yes. Okay, we're going to shift gears again out of business. Well, this could actually apply to your business too. What's number 7?
Number 7 is One of my favorites, order gifts online, because I hate shopping.
No.
Yes. And the thing I find is if I go shopping for Christmas presents, especially in the Christmas season, I am very unlikely to be overly thoughtful on gifts. The first thing I come across that looks good will be purchased, and I will mark that person off my mental list, and I will move on. I will try and minimize my time to under an hour in the mall to get all of my shopping needs done.
So everybody ends up with like a pair of socks.
It's a good idea.
No, not a good idea. No, unless they're Fallout socks.
Fallout socks would be cool.
I would take Fallout socks. It's really funny because last year was the first year that we really did a lot of our shopping online. Mm-hmm. And I think we probably did about 90% of it online. Oh, it made life so much easier. Wow.
Most definitely. I mean, the thing is, you can be thoughtful. I actually find myself starting earlier. I mean, obviously, if you go on trips or whatever, sometimes you think about it. But normally, and if you're like me, you're not very good at, in June going, oh, this will make a good Christmas present for someone. I'm not good at doing that.
We are not those people.
We are not those people. And if we do, I would probably have trouble holding on to it and not giving it to them sooner, because I would want them to have this great thing for them.
Or we'd be afraid we'd lose it.
Or Kitty might eat it or puke on it.
Because it's never happened before that we've lost Christmas presents in the house.
Not once is what I would say.
Yeah, not once.
Do all your order, not all of it. I mean, some of it you might not be able to do.
Like candy and stuff for stockings.
And if you're a big person where you get rest and relaxation from doing it, obviously this isn't the path for you. But if you're like us and you're really busy and you want a way to save time and still be thoughtful, one of our suggestions would be just go to smallbizlife.com/Amazon, and it'll take you right to their website, and you can order stuff directly from them, and they will ship it right to your house, or you can even send it from Amazon if you'd prefer to do it that way.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing, is if you've got family that lives elsewhere in the country, or maybe you're really busy and you're not going to be able to see that family member, Amazon will actually wrap it for you and send it.
Yeah. Great service.
That's awesome. I love it. And if you use smallbizlife.com/Amazon, you help us out too.
And we always appreciate that.
Okay, number 8. You're not going to like number 8.
No, I don't.
No. But it's a happy time for me. Number 8, start preparing for tax season. I think you look like you're going to cry.
I always cry when I think of tax season. I'm grateful in many ways to having you at this time, where I do have an ability to process numbers. I really don't like seeing my tax bill. I really don't.
That's my job. That's my job.
And you protect me from it quite well.
So the next couple weeks, you're probably, you're going to have a little bit of downtime as, we start to ramp up towards the holidays. But between Thanksgiving and New Year's, you're probably going to be really busy. And then New Year, you're going to want to start the year off right and grow your business. And you're going to have your goals and your resolutions. And then all of a sudden, you're going to turn around and it's April.
That's right. And no miles log done. No great information to give to your accountant.
You give your accountant a box of receipts.
Oh, jeez.
And that's a nightmare scenario for us.
And for you when you get the bill, I'm sure.
Yes. So take some time now. Take 15 minutes a day and start organizing your receipts, or get your accounting system up to date, or your mileage log up to date. Just 15 minutes a day, you're going to make a ton of progress.
Yeah. And the other good thing is, too, if you know all of the deductions that your CPA is always asking you for, you start tracking those in Excel, or in, let's say you have a QuickBooks software, wherever you're tracking that at. Once you start having it in there, you can actually look this year to last year and go, wow, I thought I had a really bad year this year, and see, wait, my revenue's up, or wait, my expenses went down, or I get a real idea of, are you kind of where you were at last year? Did you grow some? Did you actually lose some? And it will give you some food for thought for your business as well, too.
This is the year that you should really, if you don't have an accounting system, let this be the year that you set one up. Because it makes your tracking so much easier. And it actually lets you look at things like, is my revenue up or down? Are my expenses up or down? It shows you trends year over year. And that's one thing that's really helped me with my business, because it shows me the areas of my business that are making traction.
Yeah.
And when I set my goals, like, I don't want to do as much in taxes as I'm doing in consulting, I actually have the numbers to back that up to show that, my consulting numbers are way up.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a system, how are you going to know?
Or you get into an area where one of my friends got into this year where they thought they had a horrible year last year. They turn over all of their boxes over to their accountant. And then, in October 15th, or approaching October 15th, they find out, oh, wait a second, you made a lot of money last year, but the way you spent it on your business did not help your taxes. And now you have a huge tax bill coming up that you thought was going to be lower, because you didn't realize that you made more money than you made last year. Even something as basic as that. And for a small business guy, that's a rough one.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I always know what my profit looks like, so I can estimate what our taxes are going to be. And it's really hard as an accountant when you call your CPA and you say, okay, how much am I going to owe in taxes? Well, we don't know if you don't have numbers.
Yeah.
But if you're using QuickBooks or Wave apps or Xero, we can look it up and say, oh, okay, well, this is what your profit looks like compared to last year. So you're probably going to owe more in taxes or you're going to owe less in taxes. But we can't do any planning for you if you don't have records for us.
Yes.
So it's a nice way to avoid those big, huge bill surprises in April. So start preparing for tax season now. Number 9 and number 10 are very closely related. For me, there are certain parties every year and certain events every year that I want to go to. Get the dates for those early, so that way you can schedule them in. Because there's some events that are just awesome, right? And they're the ones that you want to go to and you want to make sure that you're there. So get them on your calendar so that way that you don't have any conflicts. Because everybody's going to have a Christmas party.
Oh, yes.
Everybody's going to have a holiday party. And they're all going to invite you.
That's right.
So that's why number 10 is very important. Learn to say no.
It's great to even practice saying no.
Say no. Just if you're listening right now, just say no. It's a wonderful thing. It's very empowering, I think.
And it can really help you in the long run, too, because sometimes you should say no to work. Sometimes you should say no to family members when they're trying to get you to do stuff for them while you're working. It's the most important word a small business owner can do, because that's the word that ultimately sets your priorities. Yes and no.
Well, and there are going to be so many people vying for your time between Thanksgiving and New Year's. You don't have to go to every cookie swap.
Yeah.
Because a cookie swap is not just attending the cookie swap. You have to make cookies to bring to the cookie swap. You don't have to go to every, Secret Santa event and every vendor party and client party. You're going to feel obligated to go. You don't have to go to all of them. There's so many events going on. Pick the ones that you and your family are going to get the most joy out of. And remember that the holiday is all about spending time with friends and family that you love.
Yes.
It's not about spending time with, vendors that, invite you to parties or other business events. When I was doing a lot of networking for my business, this was kind of the one time a year where I wasn't a good networker. Well, towards the end,
Right up at Christmas. But I mean, usually those are the ones that are further away. Early December might be one thing. Big clients that, bring in a lot of revenue might be something else. But especially vendor parties. And some of them are good too, because like we used to do the chamber breakfast together. And that was about there was some networking there, but it was really about bringing toys for kids in our town who needed presents.
And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That event was great. So figure out the events that you like to go to. I wouldn't recommend doing more than 2 events a week.
Yeah.
Because then it's just way too stressful.
Yeah.
Limit yourself to that. And, maybe you can be the one this year that doesn't have a party.
Yeah, that's okay too.
That's okay too. Because I bet you that some of the people that you invite will go, oh, thank goodness I have a night off.
That's right.
That's our top 10 list. And you've got a bonus that you wanted to tell people about that is kind of your tip of the week.
This is the tip of the week. And one of the great things that we use, and it starts, I believe, around Black Friday, are the Amazon Lightning deals.
They've already started.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
They started 2 weeks ago.
I don't go shopping a lot, but essentially the great thing with Amazon Lightning deals are they start a long time before the holiday. So what you can do is you can sit there and your loved ones, so you can start either searching by category or you can search by day to get an idea of things that you really might want to get for them. And you're guaranteed that they're all going to have a 20% discount off of the retail price, at least. Mm-hmm. They can discount it more. The one flaw being that there's always a limited number of them. So there's that huge scarcity thing that you always hear about in business. Well, if it's a really big one, it might sell out very, very quickly.
There's also a time limit too.
Yes. They're up for, I believe, an hour at a time at the max anyway. And it's just a great way to find presents. And then if you stack it with another service that we use, Amazon Prime, besides the video streaming that you might know about, you also get 2-day delivery, which you also might know about, because they're both are valid reasons to get Amazon Prime on their own, I believe. But when you use it, Amazon Prime, you can actually say, take a little bit longer, Amazon, to ship it to me. Hey, it's the week after Thanksgiving, so why don't you take an extra day or two to deliver it to me? And then what will happen is you'll get an extra $1 that you can use on downloadable content from Amazon. So it's a great way to stretch out your budget, or maybe buy some business books that you want to read that week after Christmas to start prepping for, going crazy the next year.
Yeah, and that's actually what we did. We used all those credits to buy business books after the holidays were over. The awesome thing with the Lightning deals is that all of the day's Lightning deals are actually listed out in the morning with the time that they go live.
Which is the key to not going back every hour trying to figure out what is the actual, is this the item this hour that I want to get? You can know ahead of time, put a reminder 5 minutes before in your phone. It'll remind you, you hop onto Amazon and buy it.
Yeah. So that's what I would do is typically there are lots and lots of Lightning deals between now and Christmas. Yeah. So what I would do is I would go on my computer first thing in the morning. I would look to see what the Lightning deals were until noon.
Yeah.
And then at noon, I would go on again, spend 15 minutes, scroll through all the stuff that they were going to have until dinner time.
Yeah.
And then I would check in again at dinner time. So it didn't take a ton of time to go through it, but the way the Lightning deals work is that there are particular days where they have different deals.
Yeah.
So there's one day last year that they had Disney deals and you could get Frozen stuff. Frozen was a big, huge thing last year. They had 70% off.
Frozen pizza?
No. Frozen the movie.
Oh, okay.
It was a Disney thing. They have another day where interspersed between the other stuff, they do Department 56 deals. Department 56, those villages with all the little houses and the ceramic houses.
Ones, yes.
Yeah. So my mom collects those. So there's one day when I see those on that I'm all right, I'm going to get her a piece. And I saved 60% last year. So, when you figure out what system works for you, you just want a system that you're not on there all day.
Yeah.
So I check in a couple times a day, see if there's anything I want to get for anybody. And then I do what Jeff said. I set a reminder on my phone.
Yeah. And then as an additional bonus tip, this week is something to think about, and maybe you've never thought about before. If you sell products through Amazon, and I know there's certain criteria, and I'm not going to go over all of the criteria now. You can go to Amazon, and they have the criteria for vendors who want to sell deals. If what you sell would make a tremendous gift, and you can afford at least a 20-minute, if you can afford at least a 20% markdown, you can actually get set up as an Amazon Lightning deal. And I'm not sure exactly on the selection process. Maybe they take them all, maybe they don't. I'm not sure how that works. But what you can do is if you can get your product listed as an Amazon Lightning deal, then you actually have a chance to reach out, get prime real estate on Amazon, and get a good burst of sales that you might not get, and maybe pull in some long-term customers in the process.
And they do downloadable music deals. Mm-hmm. They do ebook deals, traditional book deals. Yeah. So if you've got, maybe you have an ebook or you have a traditional book and, it's being printed by CreateSpace.
Or even anyone, as long as they sell it. Yeah.
Right. As long as Amazon, sells it, you could sell your product. And like Lightning, there are millions of people that look at the Lightning deals every day. So it's a great opportunity for people to find you.
Yes.
So go check that out. Go check out how to be a Lightning deal on Amazon.
Maybe you can strike some lightning along the way.
There you go. See, that is a way to ramp up your business during the holidays if you sell the right kind of product.
Yeah.
So this is usually the time where we have an app of the week. And I think as we're starting to think about the holidays, you need to check out Peapod.
Now, some people maybe haven't checked out Peapod yet. What does Peapod do that would make them beneficial in this time of year?
We've got about 3 weeks until Thanksgiving. So what you could do is you could put a couple items in your shopping cart right now and schedule your delivery for the day before Thanksgiving or maybe 2 days before Thanksgiving. And then you can add things to your shopping cart until the night before your delivery. If you spend more than $100, which you know that if you are grocery shopping for Thanksgiving, you are going to spend more than $100 on groceries.
And that's just if it's only your family.
Right. Delivery is $6.95.
Yes.
That's it. $6.95.
Now, $6.95, that's good, but there has to be a way that they can get it better than $6.95.
Well, if you go to smallbizlife.com and you go to the show notes for this episode,
okay,
or you go to the resource page, either one, you can get a coupon for $15 off your first order. That's
wow. So that's really like getting the shipping for free and like an $8 coupon on top of it.
Think about going to the grocery store the week of Thanksgiving and the insanity that is, right? You go to the grocery store, you try to find a cart because there's a million people in the grocery store, right? Everything's been picked over. Don't go to the deli counter. Don't even think about it. Okay. Not going to happen. You get rushed through, you forget things that are on your list because you just want to get out of there. You wait in line for an hour because everyone you know is at the grocery store. You don't have to do that this year.
Yeah. Because the best thing is, even if you forget something, you're down to one or two things. You just chuck your husband under the bus. He's not cooking anyway. He can go deal with the business, not you.
And then think about it, right? You leave the store. You've got to put all that stuff in your car. Then you got to bring it home. Then you got to get it all out of the car. With Peapod, you create your list online. You schedule a delivery date. The driver brings the stuff in your house if you want them to.
And that was a great one we never thought about because I usually would meet the driver at the door and grab the stuff and take it in. But a couple weeks ago, before my knee surgery and with Kristen's back acting up, neither one even wanted to deal with that. And the guy just brought it right in, put it right there for us in the kitchen. And I'm like, wow. If we could only get them to put it away now, but that'd probably take a really big tip.
Yeah. But so if you want to make your holidays less stressful, this is a great way to do it.
Yes.
And like you said, you can update your list until the day before your delivery. So put together your holiday meal plan, put everything in the cart, and the groceries just arrive at your door.
And the good thing is, too, if you can start getting it done now, that gives you a chance to remember, oh, wait, I don't have any coriander. Or I don't have any stuff to turn into baby food-looking vegetables.
You mean butternut squash?
Yes, that stuff.
Or turnips and carrots. That kind of looks like baby food, too.
Yes, that does. Well, it's more like baby vomit, I think, but close enough.
Oh, good God. Oh, life with Jeffrey. So, Peapod is a wonderful thing that can make your holidays a lot easier. And if you go to smallbizlife.com, click on the show notes for episode 9, or go to the resource page, we've got a coupon for $15 off your first order.
That's right. Try it for free. Grocery shop from your laptop.
Oh, I like that. See, we should give that to the Peapod people. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We hope you had fun listening to it because we had fun making it.
Yes.
Sometimes we get a little silly, but that's the way small business is, right? You can't be serious all the time. You got to have fun with it. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope that you will give us a rate and review after we told you not to rate anything.
Yes. Still give us that. Yes.
You can go to iTunes, you can go to Stitcher, and we're now on Google Play.
Oh, that's so awesome. I have to remember to actually hook my other podcast to that.
Yeah. So, hey, if you've got a podcast and you're not on Google Play yet, you can submit your podcast, and it's just another way for people to find you.
Excellent.
So have a great week and take care of yourself. Thank you for listening to Small Biz Life. If you enjoyed the show, please take a few minutes to rate and review the show on iTunes or Stitcher. Please visit smallbizlife.com to view today's show notes, take this week's poll, join the Facebook community, follow us on Twitter, or submit a question for the mailbag. Support the show by checking the resources page or by going to smallbizlife.com/Amazon whenever you shop.
This was Small Biz Life. This was Small Biz Life.